News Central now at this hour begins in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, where the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has announced a profit of 3.3 trillion naira for the 2023 fiscal year. And speaking at a media briefing on Monday to present the company's 2023 audited financial statement, Pius Akinyelure, chairman of the NNPC board, revealed that these figures represent a significant increase of 749 billion naira compared to the 2.54 trillion naira profit recorded in 2022. Additionally, NNPC's revenue saw a substantial rise, reaching 24 trillion naira in 2023, up from 8.81 trillion naira in the previous year. Akinyelure also disclosed that the company declared a dividend of 2.1 trillion naira to its shareholder in 2023. NNPC's financial performance has shown steady improvement in recent years. After reporting losses of 803 billion naira in 2018 and 1.7 billion naira in 2019, the state-owned oil company reversed its deficit, achieving a profit of 287 billion naira in 2020. Now, this growth continued with 674.1 billion naira profit in 2021, followed by a 2.54 trillion naira profit in 2022. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has approved the Nigerian National Petroleum Company to use its 2023 final dividends owed to the Federation to cover the cost of petrol subsidies. In addition, the President has approved a halt on the payment of 2024 interim dividends to the Federation to help boost NNPC's cash flow. Also, NNPC informed the President that due to the subsidy payment, it is currently unable to pay taxes and royalties into the Federation account, referring to these as a subsidy shortfall. A forecast from NNPC indicated that the total petrol subsidy expenses from August 2023 to December 2024 will amount to 6.844 trillion naira, leaving the company unable to remit 3.974 trillion naira in taxes and royalties to the Federation account. And to unpack this, we're joined by Dr. Samson Simon, who is Chief Economist, ARC Economics and Data Limited in Abuja, Nigeria. Good evening. Glad to have you join me.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. Good evening, Nigerians.
The pleasure is all mine. I'll kick off by asking what your impression is on NNPC's decision to allocate its 2023 dividends to cover petrol subsidies.
Well, this is the first time I think the authorities are admitting to the existence of subsidy. Since the infamous announcement by the President on the day of his inauguration, 29th of May 2023, when he said subsidy is gone, people have been saying, IMF, World Bank, so many people, the evidence is overwhelming that they have been paying for subsidy. But this is the first time that the authorities or the government are conceding that they're actually paying for subsidy. And according to their projection, which has not been independently confirmed, that between August last year and December, they're expected to pay almost 7 trillion naira in subsidy. So because they have so much to pay in subsidy, which has ballooned from something in the region of 50 billion in August last year to almost 1 trillion naira in April this year. So because of that, the NNPC has been overburdened. So the chief executive, Mela Kyari, asked the president to wade in, and he has done it. He has just done that because the NNPC is supposed to remit taxes and royalties in the region of 3.98 trillion, right? And subsidies almost 7 trillion. So if they even don't remit that in taxes and royalties, they still have shortfall of over 2 trillion. So that's why you are not only, the government is not only forfeiting the taxes and the royalties, but they're also forfeiting the final dividends from 2023 and even the interim dividends from May this year. So it's not really good to the coffers of the government. That means less revenue to the government. So it's not really a good thing. And while we celebrated the PIA, we have hyped it. Sadly, it has not given us the results we're looking for. So we need to do more. The NNPC need to be a transparently run organization. That's the only way we can
Dr.
ensure the optimum
Simon, just to
from
chip
the
in
NNPC.
there. Yes, Dr. Simon, just to chip in there. You've talked about these subsidies not being remitted now. Now, what are the potential risks of halting the payments, for 2024 interim dividends to the Federation? How do you think this can affect government revenues and also public finances?
This clearly shows that the less remittances into FAC, that's less money coming to the government. And when less money is coming to the government, that means less money to be shared to the different tiers of government. So it's not actually a good thing. I know there's pressure on the president to remove, to actually pay, to go back to what we were before he came to power. And even at the level that we are, the government is hardly struggling to keep up. So I don't see the reversal of the subsidy removal to the level we had or we were before the president came on board. So it's less revenue to the government and less money to spend on infrastructure, on education, on healthcare, on tackling insecurity. So basically, that's the risks.
Okay, given the forecasted petrol subsidy expenses of 6.884 trillion naira, what alternative strategies could NNPC adopt to manage financial strain while also fulfilling its tax as well as royalty obligations?
As long as there is subsidy to be paid, it will be very difficult for the NNPC to cope. I think when the subsidy ballooned, that should be last year, they were struggling and it really got out of hand before they actually reached out to the president. So as long as they're paying for this subsidy, they have tried different strategies, forwards, going into their debts, going after people that are owing the NNPC. It has not worked so far. So basically, these are cosmetics, right? There is a need to find a way to stop paying subsidy while at the same time not increasing the price of refined fuel. And one of these can be done by ensuring domestic refining of crude for the refined fuel to reach the hands of the Nigerian consumer, which Dangote would have been the one to help, and other refineries within the country. And the authorities do not really seem to be enthusiastic about the Dangote refinery the way they should. I think that will go a long way, because if we supply refineries domestically with crude from Nigeria, and then this crude oil is refined locally, we will not subject the supply of refined crude to Forex. We'll not subject it to international geopolitics and so on. So that will go a long way in maintaining a price that is relatively low, and then at the same time not overburdening the NNPC and the government.
Now, I know you talked about these advantages of not being able to remit taxes and also royalty, but talk to me about it in broader terms. How can it affect Nigeria as a country, looking at the economic aspect now?
Well, like I mentioned, this is not good for the coffers of the government. It means the government will have less ability to tackle the overwhelming challenges that Nigeria as a country has. It means the NNPC will be less capable of playing its own part in ensuring that the economy, or particularly the fiscal space in Nigeria, there's a room in the fiscal space for the authorities to get things done. So it's basically limiting, in the sense that you have less access to finance and it limits your ability to get things done.
All right, thank you so much for your time on the news. Dr. Samson Simon, an economist, many thanks for your insights.
Thank you for having me.